end that well for me. But for these players here, they know how to take advantage of each item in Fortnite. They're so good at really working with what's in front of them. Now the format, as we mentioned before, we're pretty far from it, okay? So when you get to 25th place, that's when the placement points start to tick. But each elimination is gonna give a crucial point. These have been some low point games. If you watch the online qualifiers wondering, man, we're seeing players getting 60, 70, 80 points, even 100 in some instances. Those are the online qualifiers, a different format. These are the best players in the world going against one another. The gameplay is going to slow down just a little bit as they all fight for the positioning.
Yeah, this is definitely that time in the game when everyone kind of positions up and the heavy congestion begins, but King doesn't care about that because he's King. He's looking for a fight in arguably the worst zone to fight in, approaching zone 4 and 5 here.
He's a savage. He's a savage. He does not want anyone else to sit up upon that throne. It should only be him, but it's okay. Sometimes you don't have to be that thirsty. You can move away. That player popped that ramp in front of him. He gets out.
And look at this, look at that. That was so brilliant. He changes his angle there. He says, you know, I'm not going to use this side. I'm going to go around and start collapsing in on you, just losing or pushing that player out in uncomfortable ways.
Oh, I like this. He's going down low.
Master at finding angles here. He's just looking for the best way to break apart his opponent right now, and he's really playing mind games. Now, suddenly, this guy doesn't know what side he's safe on. He's losing all forms of real estate right here.
You know, King, he just constantly wants to be in your face. He's done it in each game that has happened, and he always seems to just know where everyone is. Like that is a trait that you know, a lot of the players that are up here, they do have it, but in this South American region like this, where there have been obviously not a lot of players coming out of this for this particular tournament, I think King has put this region on the map without a doubt.
He is truly representing here. King's tracking is phenomenal. He's still keeping track of Tuesday here. Now deciding he's going to replenish some materials and refortify all of this area. Sanctioning to himself here. This is why he's in the running in the top 10 here. We saw him get taken out earlier before, but this is why he plays the high risk, high reward. And if I'm being honest, that's how you take first place. You put it all out there and
go big or go home.
Everything goes in your favor, honestly.
Go big or go home. King fight over on the mountain there. Kuzi's next to him, as well as Keemstar. And King, he's gone. He's flying over to the next target here.
He just doesn't stop. Into another box fight he goes. And now he's going to reposition here and set up for the prime push.
This is ridiculous.
Look, he's still going.
He does not care, people. King wants to jump into your box. And there's box now! Oh, what a beast!
Damn!
What a beast!
He's not here to play. Laser's going to go down.
Damn!
Bow down.
We thought Booga was one of the best box fighters. Hold up, it's time to do some reviews here because King is putting himself on the map here.
All I want, Bala, if you're listening, I just want you to do a VOD review of King, okay?
Get us a VOD review, please.
Hopefully we can just agree on that. Wild stuff, man. Gets the window, boom, right to the face. Right to the kisser.
He's already looking.
What's wild about that fight, too, is a lot of players would have just stayed stationary in that position. Storm was coming in.
They would have been content with being somewhere safe in the
He had a target, and he just went right for it.
Incredible. Here we have Dubs now. Center zone.
Dubs. Pretty big game.
Still has a baller. Bucky still in the running here. Leshy also getting right next to Dubs. Also has a baller, so they're probably not going to get into too much of a battle, but who knows?
Maybe they'll be
Storm
baller
Surge
buddies.
is still a thing. Maybe they'll be baller buddies.
Maybe. But you're right, though, about the Storm Surge. You really are, because if you're not putting in damage, 0 eliminations for Leshy right now. How many fights has he actually gotten into? Someone's going to be above. There's Dubs. Minigun. That minigun goes right through your builds. Very powerful against structures.
Dubs, only with 2 eliminations, is actually the match leader, and that's because he's just pinging other players. Yes, just damage leader. And we just talked about Storm Surge. That's why you want to be proactive. You want to shoot at anything that moves. Because realistically, you don't know when you're going to find yourself in that precarious situation where you have to push someone like pretty much with, without wanting to.
And we were talking about this before we jumped on the cast. I think it was Zane we were discussing. He's really good at not putting himself in a position, but still to get hurt, but still take shots. And Benji fishy against Storm. First elim for him there.
Saw that he put the trap above his head through the window edit, opens it up and hits him with the pump.
And now we're on his perspective. But as we were mentioning before, sometimes from a safe position, go for the shots. Go for the shots. Maybe you get a few ticks. Damage perhaps. And King, he's taking fights outside as well.
King is still here to play Golden.
2 eliminations. 53 builds for him. Running with that blue combat shotgun. Great range on that item. Far away though from where the half-in, half-out circle is going to be. We're at zone 5. This is when things start to get a little crazy. What does King have as an option here? Is he looking for people on the move and then punishing them? Maybe trying to get the community launch pad, perhaps, if someone throws that down. What is he looking for here?
It really wouldn't even surprise me if he's just looking for elimination to recap on materials right now, because he doesn't have enough to full tunnel across here. Knowing his playstyle, he's probably going to want to push here. And there it is. He actually found a launch pad, so his game awareness was at an all-time high here. Take a look here. Tfue, nice little replay right there. One of his first elims.
First point, as a matter of fact, against Curse. Tfue on the board. The King. What are the chances of that one? Yeah, the good old community launch pad right there. Great neighbors.
Paying attention to what's going on here. Can Tfue make a big comeback for himself here?
A little concerned about that player who had edited out. Tfue did have the mark on him. That guy though, you hate that one. When you just get focused on so much, you're out and about trying your best to stay up in this game. And then everyone looks at you, and Tfue again, he's doing damage, but he's not getting the elimination. Other people are siphoning those away from him.
This Prisionero was just snatched from him. That's another point that unfortunately does not go his way here. He does have some shadow bombs though, so he will be able to make it to this next zone. He decides that he's close enough to try and tarp in, but now he becomes the target of the server because he's only building in wood here.
People can take note of the structures being used. That will give you an indication as to where they are currently. Players do build around 2-box metal, perhaps. Metal, the strongest structure. In case you're wondering, maybe you're watching for the first time, wondering what's going on here. Your Game 3 winner, Dubs.
You should probably shadow bomb on
2 eliminations. Still has that baller, but it is a very weak baller. I mean, look at that thing. It is cracked up.
Not only that, he doesn't have health either. He is very, very weak here. He has tons of materials though. He just has to play for placement to continue to hold this lead that he has right now on the competition. King gets taken out by Mongrel, unfortunately, right there, and Bugga is still in the running here as he catches Flexi, and the kill feed is lighting up right now as players are dropping, and we're approaching placement points finally here.
We're getting very close to it, Monster. Once we hit 25th place, everyone's going to start to earn some points. Right at the side of your screen, 3 points for everyone. Still alive, but Dubs, and we mentioned it, that baller was in dire straits. It was not going to be able to survive another rotation, and neither was he with the HP that he had currently. Then the rotations, everyone's starting to move here. They have some shadow bombs. They're going to use those and get to the other side, get to the safe area, build around and protect themselves, and hope that they can continue to gain more placements as we take a look at the overhead.
That's right. He was holding his breath because he needed to get that top 25. He didn't break it through in time. Everyone left in the game has already gotten placement points here, but you want to play for the next threshold. You want to continue to stay in this game here, as that's exactly what Tfue's doing with the Shadow Bomb, hopping around the builds here, trying to keep a low profile. Bizzle still in the running. one of the innovators when it comes down to tarping and pushing out with effective and clean builds.
Just one of the greats of Fortnite altogether. On the side, I was looking at this fight between Rux and Riversand. Riversand went for high ground numerous times, and Tfue gets eliminated by Mongrel. And then Rux has high ground, as you see on your screen to the left. Then you have Bizzle, still very much in this one. Takamura with 4 eliminations and earning placement points as more players begin to fall. And we're coming down to the final moments, Monster.
That's right, we are. And we're going to jump into Takamura's POV here because he has 4 eliminations, and he doesn't plan on stopping. Neither does Mongrel, because Mongrel catches Benji Fishy as well. Taking a look here, Takamura tarping out. He is going to fall down, and he's going to get shot a few times here. He's going for the high ground. He sees an opportunity. It's his to take. Now jumping over with Mongrel, who's in the low ground. Drops another player right here. Is he going to be able to connect in full? Can he convert here? He does not.
So many players are landing in front of Mongrel here. Coming down to the wire. Top 9 remaining. 1 in front of Mongrel. Does he get the elim? He manages to just get away by the skin of his teeth. Mongrel gets up to the high ground. Maybe using this. If you keep jumping on the wall, you won't go out of the shadow state. He gets up top, but there's no one going to be there. There's a person all the way above him. Knocks the structure down, and the player does manage to catch himself and maintain the high ground positioning here. We have some great players still left in this game. But Mongrel with 4 eliminations is looking for number 5, and that was on Nate. We're now down to the final moments. Top 5 Monster.
He had to fully commit there. Those are the maps that he needed. He's still in the game here. He's going to go all the way for it, and that's the trade out with the 109 to the face here.
Damn! 6 eliminations.
We're into a 1v1v1v1. Top 4 players now. Mongrel in the ultimate low ground. Going up against the player.
7.
The game 1 winner will not be enough against Mongrel, who does get picked quite a bit. He loses a lot of HP. No more builds, but the victory royale goes to the veteran Song, who manages to pick up a massive win.
Using the shockwaves in the final moments to snatch the high ground, Song claims a victory, but it's Mongrel who had a ton of eliminations and really was the ruining factor for so many of our top 10 competitors in that round right there.
Mongrel was running a rough shot in the ultimate low ground, but it's Sam, the vet. He has performed in so many competitions at a high level, and it's no surprise here. When Sam gets that high ground, everyone needs to look out. He's so good at that. Mongrel had no builds left. He had no HP to work with. He did the job he needed to do. Top 2. He got 2nd place and a bunch of eliminations. And Shockwave's late game again, Monster. Such a great piece of equipment that you can use.
Love that right there. Stands up, flexes, hits us with the let's go. He's
you're
feeling
so
good. And that's a huge accomplishment to take a victory. And
not to get shown to get.
Have so many opportunities to win a game here. Just to do that alone, it's magnificent.
Yeah, it really, magnificent is the best word that I could think of at those final moments. Games 3 and 4 certainly did not disappoint. Oh, that was a wild, wild game. Here are the standings, though. Booga still holding on to first place. Look how far ahead he is. 8 points currently. But Psalm now jumps in to 2nd place, Nate in 3rd. Riversand, who's managed to put together some great games, is in 4th. Rux as well. Epic Whale in 6th. Skite and Dubs get knocked down to 7th and 8th. And King, who has been very aggressive, is in 9th. And then Peter Pan from South Korea in 10th place.
So good. The last player we saw in 11th place, Epic Whale, shot himself up to that front page, guys. So don't count out Andretta, Benji, Savage, or anyone else here in the top 20 because they have what it takes. Look at how close the point threshold is.
Yeah.
Everyone is in the running for top 10 right here, and that's life-changing prize on the line here. The stakes are so high.
Yeah, the gap is so small, and these players have the capability of being able to get into the top 10. 2 more games remain. I wonder who's going to take it all, but let's go down to the stage. We got Jordan standing by with our Game 4 winner, Psalm.
And a huge Game 4 win for Psalm. Now sitting at 2nd place in the standings, feeling really, really good right now. We're just talking about that high ground take. You said I didn't think that it was going to work, but real domination right there at the end. What was your thought process going up against such a stacked final 10 people? I mean, some of the players that were there are all capable of clutching this up.
After I got the high ground, I was just focused on playing safe, make sure I don't lose the high ground, make sure no one influences up to take my high ground, and then I let everyone on the ground do their thing, and then I clean up.
And the cleanup was real. Back to you, Golden Boy and Monster D-Face.
Always a pleasure to hear from Psalm, a veteran in competitive Fortnite and doing it once again. No shocker there. You take the risk, you make the bold play, and sometimes it pays off. And in that instance, it definitely did. He's coming out quite pretty from there. I believe was in second place, currently in the standings. That was a nutty game, man.
He's been in top 10 this whole time. Since the competition has begun, he's been chipping away at placement. And that last one was a huge victory for him. And that is exactly what he wanted and needed here to keep him relevant.
Yeah, so many great moments in that game. And while we had the best seat in the house, there were some moments that maybe we didn't catch. And the good news is we got one of the best VOD reviewers in the game. Ball is standing by to break it all down.
Break it all down.
Thank you so much, GB. Yes, we have 2 games remaining, and it looks like Psalm and Booga repeating that first game success early on. They're going to move forward at the top of the leaderboard, but for now, we're going to take a look at some of Rux's performances and some of his shots that push him up to 5th. So while we roll these clips, Rux, in the end game, first, he set himself up brilliantly in the early game against Arkram. We've talked about Arkram a number of times. This duel has been going on every single game here. Rux takes the better of Arkram and gets the loadout that he needs to push on forward here with the control and the combat shotgun and heals to boot. Only 1 mat remaining through this entire time. Doesn't quite get those mats after finding the elimination onto Core Gaming, so he's working through old structures here, other players' structures, and that's when you start going sneaky beaky mode. He stays crouched, make sure that no sound is coming through for that elimination onto Slaya. He had high ground in this position. A nice shot there onto Light. Unbelievable flick shot with the combat shotgun. And then this is when I believe it was somebody else took high ground here. Beautiful retake. It's Stompy. Rux brings himself up into 5th place with that. We'll see if he continues to climb. But for now, we've got 2 more games to go. Gentlemen, back to you.
Crown the first solo winner.
Thank you so much for breaking that down, Bala. Rux, who has been time and time again showing up in the top 10. We always see his name, whether it be solos or even in duos, along with his teammate Pika. They always have great events. So no shocker there. But this is, what a wild ride, right? We've been on 10 weeks up until this point. All these players from around the world. I love looking at that top 10 as well, man, because it truly is a great international game that we have here with Fortnite.
Yeah, you saw it unfold. Like, who would have thought King would be the man to show up today and be, like, honestly, the energy for the arena here, because he has had some of the wildest moments so far in his journey through this World Cup weekend.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. It's been a wild ride here, but that's going to do it for myself and Monster D-Face, the Boricua boys. There we go, brother. Always a pleasure to cast with you. Now we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, Courage and Dr. Lupo take the stage one more time, and then we crown our Fortnite World Champion. We'll see you in just a few.
Like,
Hello, Fortnite fam. I am PookieFace_. I am joined here at the front of house with David, and we're going to talk a little bit about how all of these systems work, how we are bringing the Pro-Am, Creative Cup, and the World Cup to you guys this weekend. So David, nice to meet you. Thank you for joining me here. What do all of these buttons do behind us? Tell me a little bit about what all of the technical things are here.
So basically this is controlling all of the lighting and all of the video for the entire show. We're pushing out all of the videos that you see on all the screens, any camera shots that go up there. And then we're also making sure that all the lights are at the right levels for player faces and everything else.
So it's your job to just make everyone look great, is technically what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Now, I know that you have some facts about the lights, the LEDs. Give me a little bit of some factoids about how all of this production pulls power and, you know, what goes into all of this.
Absolutely. There's about 1,200 lighting fixtures in the room currently. We have about 18 4K video outputs to go to all the big screens. We're running about 98 million pixels worth of video space, and it's taking about
best I-
2,000 amps of power,
Epic
which is
Whale
about enough
rocks.
to run about 15 homes.
Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me today, introduce me to
that
all
guy
of
get
these
away?
working
How is
parts.
no one
But there are so many
Big that
more
name
things
out.
that go into all of this. So when you
That's
guys are
kinda
out
weird.
in the stands watching the
Peter-
World
Peter
Cup this
Pan.
weekend, you have David to thank for
That's right.
everything.
Look at the command center, man. Damn. Dub solo qualifier in East.
Dub said, look, I've qualified. I'm just going to come back and just flex on literally the entire region.
It's ridiculous. I mean, the fact that you can be so consistently good in one of the major regions. The best of the best aren't concerned with just barely making it. They want to win every fight. They want every point. That's why he's in first. There's a reason he's one of the best solo players.
Oh, hopefully the sound's better. I'm trying to figure out if the sound can hear me correctly. It's all good. Hopefully it is. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. One second.
연습을 제대로 별로 못했기 때문에 아마도 일단 운에
Oh,
막
what's the guys? He said what I wanted to hear. He said what I wanted to hear. One second.
이제 아시아는 스크림
There aren't
같은
any
거 있기
scrims in
때문에
the Asia servers. Yeah.
연습을
I'm
제대로
pretty
별로
good at the
못했기
game.
때문에 아마도 일단 운에 맡겨야 될 것 같습니다.
Hi, New York City. Oh, okay, Factbox. I'll take you out for a good pizza. I know a couple good spots.
이제 한국에는 포트나이트 유저가 별로 없는데 진짜 응원하겠습니다.
Damn, the mic is pretty random right now. I know. Sorry about it. Yeah. I don't know what's happening. Mongrel, these guys. Right? What's happening? What is happening? Sometimes the sound is good, sometimes it isn't. I don't know what's happening. I apologize. Thank you for tuning in, man. And if you like, comment, subscribe.
Of competitive Fortnite. The final circles in
Would
competitive Fortnite are packed tightly with
do wonders for my channel, bro.
all fighting to get the victory royale. Let's introduce one of the most common techniques used to outlast your opponents in those congested final zones. What is tunneling? Also known as snaking or pathing, this is when you build a protected tunnel
going
while
up and
running
down.
away from the storm and into the next
weird.
safe zone. When these safe zones get so small, this
You know?
becomes very, very
Why is it
important,
doing it?
as there can be opposing players on all sides of you. Here's an example of the most basic tunnel, the straight tunnel. From your base, you simply build straight towards your destination.
See, it's
straight
kind of
ahead,
weird.
with the floor piece below your
Why is
feet
it doing it?
above your head. This is the most basic and also dangerous version of the tunnel, since you're not covering horizontally. You're exposed from your sides. However, you save materials by
Why can't I have it in a cool
materials
position?
spent covering your sides
On my
quickly
neck.
add up. Then,
You know, rested on my
the
shoulders.
diagonal
Why
is
does it
where
have
you
to
need
be
go.
so
You often
pathetic?
see players do the diagonal tunnel. At its most basic, it's very similar. You're just changing directions as you go.
Will this work?
Once left, once right. This is very useful since sometimes you'll encounter enemies that you want to get away from on the road to the victory royale, or the next safe zone is in a diagonal direction. So just change directions and move, but make sure to stay safe from the storm. Now we talked about
Seems
how
like
you're exposed from your sides. In
back and
both
forth.
versions,
Sorry,
you can add
man.
walls to either side, or both.
Hey man, what up,
left and right,
Yogesh?
or even in front as
Thank you
well.
for joining in, brother.
It's really hard, really fast.
How are you,
This
bro?
is why it's so impressive that not only are these high-level players tunneling
Excited
so
to do
fast
this,
without
man.
error, but
Because
at
I
the same
can't play
time,
games
going
with a
for crazy
FaceReveal
plays on
because it
unsuspecting
messes up
opponents
my
to rack
PC.
up
I don't have like
elimination
a
points as well as placement points.
6-7 core
It's a lot to
PC.
take in, and oftentimes
Yo,
the
thank you
pace
guys
is
for
so
joining in.
fast that you can't even keep up. Watching players like Cease, Bizzle, Mogul, Benji Fishy, and all the players playing in the
Yeah,
Fortnite
so it
World Cup
messes up my
Online
stream.
Open, play from their
So
tunnels, can
I
be
have to play without it. I wish I could.
So there you have it.
But you need to spread the word, man. I need to go up to like 500 subscribers, you know, build that community up so then I can start earning money, get kick-ass tech and shit, you know, rainbows and fucking lasers and shit, you know, lights and stuff, you know, all the fancy kind of things.
Many amazing pre-built training courses that creators have made. This was Ball of TW, and we'll see you in game.
No smokes, shit, you know, all like Dr. Disrespects are, you know, quality and stuff. So yeah, spread the word, bro.
All of the shots.
The day I qualified,
Yeah, TFU, man.
pretty hype.
He's pretty awesome. He's actually cool. Where is Myth in here? I haven't seen Myth in here. I've probably missed it.
Doing my own thing, and I tried my hardest and succeeded, I guess.
Landing all the way up top, drops in. Fire 100. Follow through on the shot. Literally reading my mind.
Ooh, look at that. Hood G.
He's a special player. A generational talent.
1 second. Let's see if the... Oh yeah.
플레이어 닉네임은 뜨제이입니다. 나이는 그리고 14살입니다.
14 years old, man. I can never do this.
He's disciplined.
Hood J drops down.
I never got to play video games, so I was like,
He's focused.
That was an ambitious play.
He wants to push it.
What a charge through the box in there.
That's what he needs to do to become the best.
Wow.
여기 간 다음에
Back in 3 minutes.
제일 중요한 거는 이걸 타고
Oh, there's proper strategies, man. These guys have like whiteboards and stuff. Damn.
I'm Juno. I'm the coach for
This is
T1's
like proper command center, man. Like,
I first met Hood J when he was a free agent.
yeah, go there, do
The
this.
youngest player in our team.
저는 포트나이트 선수로서
와우.
일선에 있는 아파트에서 팀원들과 함께 구단에서 생활하고 있습니다.
Like, wow, man. Kidding me? I mean, I'm not complaining.
놀거리가
I'm not
가장
complaining. It's just, you know, it's kind of funny.
저희 팀원은 가족 같고
Wow,
가족보다
it's like
뭔가
family.
좀 더 끈끈하고 좀 더 위인
There's a bond that
그런
is
팀인 것
stronger than
같습니다.
family. Of course, you're playing games, man.
The team really
Sports.
looks at Hood J as
Esport.
the little brother that everybody wants to take care of.
I forget to do this every time.
저는 일어나자마자 바로 옆방에 있는 연습실에서 포트나이트를 할 수 있다는 거에 대해서
His tempo is quite a bit faster than a lot of the other players.
Hood J runs on forward.
아무래도 건설이라든지 편집이라든지 그런 부분이 좀 재미있어서이기도 하고 제 목표를 달성할 수 있기 때문입니다.
Yeah, this tempo is pretty awesome. But I can't do that. I'm not that good at that. I'm trying to learn the key bindings and stuff. It's it's
He wants
quite.
to always be creative, always change up his playstyle, and steal
Yeah,
the tempo
I'm
from
still
his
trying to learn
opponents.
it. I'm still trying to learn that aspect of it. It's in the process. You know, trying to get to that level. But Yeah, no, it's just it's something that I really want to get good at this game, but that's the thing. This game doesn't train you. This game doesn't give you the opportunity. The thing about Apex is it's a pretty straightforward game. It's like it's an FPS. It's like Call of Duty. You know what you have to do, and all the other specially unique things that the game has, you can easily adapt to it. It's not something that's unknown. You don't have to. There's not a quick big. You don't have to like open a book and start. You know, it's simple to understand that how things work. Fortnite. See, building is something that's pretty unknown. It's not something that every game has. It's something that what makes this game so special.
To become the greatest of all time.
You know? So they should. I mean, creative is probably a good answer to that, which is pretty awesome. But even then, yeah, it should be. There should be like rank. You know, this arena is I think that answer for it. But people are saying it's not really the accurate representation of what rank is.
Millions watching across the world on the biggest stage.
Ooh, Mike Brown.
Every single player out here, an absolute gamer, Jack. We've never seen anything like this. Best shadow bomb use I've ever seen, Mr. Savage M.
I don't miss my shot. I don't miss my shots.
He's the player there. Runs out in the storm. Jump. Finds him. Yeah!
Qualifying for the World Cup was a major step for me to actually help out my family.
I'm so happy we made it. It's literally like a dream.
I was freaking out. It was awesome.
Ooh, Sando messaged me. He said, hey, congrats on qualifying.
Pressure's on here. He's got to get on that point with the phone. Here it is. He's going to go to the X. Now is why he's a World Cup qualifier. This is it right here. The 1v1. Who is the other player?
Ladies and gentlemen, huge shout out to Mike Realm spinning over there, guys. Give it up for him. And now we are one step closer to crowning our first Fortnite World Champions in solos. History is about to be made here, folks. And now I want to ask everyone here in the arena, are you ready? Let's do it one more time. I'm gonna ask you again. Are you ready? Let's send it over to your casters for the last two games, Courage and Dr. Lupo.
Over a year ago, the Fortnite World Cup was announced, and here today it culminates in the final two games of the
Courage,
solos
JD.
competition. $30 million
Dr. Lupo.
in prize money this weekend, and in 2 games, Dr. Lupo, we will crown another Fortnite World Champion.
We've seen a ridiculous number of plays from everybody on the field.
Yep.
Even moments like King going out, literally the first eliminated one game immediately after, just slaying out in the lobby. We love to see gameplay like that. Very aggressive from a number of players that honestly a lot of us didn't even expect to show up on the board. But you have to remember though, every single player that has qualified for the solo finals here at the Fortnite World Cup in New York City is at the top of their game. 40 million people played through. This is what's left, the best of the best of the best.
We know the storylines continue throughout this lobby of the 100 best players in the world. We have 2 games left. Our standings, well, they're very close, and Sundown's going to update us on where they lock up.
Thank you so much, Lupo.
Lupo and Courage with only 2 matches left to decide who is the world champion solo player, who is the best of the best of the best. We're gonna take a look at what the standings currently look like and what needs to happen. So the first thing you're gonna see right away is the runaway train Bugha up top. 1 victory royale, leading the pack with 15 eliminations at 37 points, 8 points clear. But we talked about it a little bit yesterday and a lot during the qualifiers. What is a reasonable game to expect? We've seen a lot of the victory royales today actually coming from more passive players. They've been getting around 11 to 12 points apiece. We've been seeing high volume eliminations happening in the early and the mid game. But right now, looking at this board, Peter Pan sitting in 10th place right now is just off of the mark. He's 16 or 18 points off. With a reasonable game, he could challenge towards that. Let's take a look at the second page, because then from 10th to 20th, it is a 4-point difference. Mongrel, with a fantastic performance in the last game, pushes himself into contention, and this top 20 is the line where you will see an increase in that prize bonus. You want to be at minimum on this page when all is said and done. 2 matches are left. We have already seen
these names, man.
in creative and duo. Who will be the ultimate victory royale and who will take home the title? We're going to throw it back inside and see the final 2 matches. Lupo, Courage, let's take it home.
Thank you, Sundown. The standings so close, all for the coveted trophy that you see on your screen. The title of Fortnite World Champion. 15 million just for the solos competition. 3 million for first. With 2 more games left. Who do you think comes out on top?
I would love to see the
thank you for joining in.
from South America King show up big. I mean, he's put on a fantastic show thus far. You have to remember, just 1 slip up, 1 bad game, that's not enough to take you out of the lead. He very easily, a solid high elim game, a top placement, doesn't even have to be a victory royale at this point with how well he's played. He could make his way to the top with ease.
Countdown.
Can anyone catch Bugha at the top of our leaderboards? The lobby is ready, ladies and gentlemen. The battle bus launches in 2, 1. Game 5 underway of the Fortnite World Cup Finals Solos competition. Can they catch Bugha? His lead remains from the incredible shockwave plays earlier. All 100 players.
Who's the Ultra? Besides Ninja, Myth.
For their big share of the, well, $3 million first place spot. 15 million in total.
Psalm.
Last game, Psalm, a last-minute clutch there. Took home a victory royale. We're going to watch his drop in here as well as everybody else near the top of this board. As we go into these later matches, folks, keep in mind we're going to try and keep an eye on those that are closest to contention.
Hey, thank you for joining in. I'm
champion position.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Very important to know that. Go to the board there, you see 4 of the 5 llamas in the very south edge of the map, starting at Salty, all the way down to the east of Happy Hamlet. 1 more all the way to the top middle. Those getting picked up early are very, very important. A baller for Psalm already at the beginning of the game. It's like he may have been the only one to drop up here. And are you kidding me? A Jug, a proxy grenade launcher?
I'm like, sure.
Jug.
Averaging 1 elim per
Yes.
match. But he's in second place.
2 pistols, 1 sub.
So key.
All eyes are on him. Pace within the top 18 of every match so far. Damn.
That means he's gotten placement points in every single match so far, Dr. Lupo. It's a big reason why he finds himself in second place. To be that consistent in this lobby, absolutely insane.
Gotta break 25 to get those points.
I just got to. These guys are just so damn. I mean,
fighting out in Westworld. People do call it Desert Town.
Arkham won. This is the guy Dr. Disrespect was.
Basically got fried.
He got a kid a contract live on Twitch. Arkham. Like, watch out for him.
Rux, who's gotten the better of him. A few of these previous games, having it back on him for a moment as that airstrike did come down.
Don't count him out just yet, though. This drop, honestly, one of the loot heaviest in the game. You have a lot of materials as well. A player like this, he gets in a good position, maybe even takes out Rux, doesn't have to fight anybody else down here. He can climb his way out of here with ease.
9 grenades in Rux's inventory. If he could somehow bait Arkham into a bad spot and use those to his advantage, it could be the thing that swings the tide in this battle. Hasn't thrown the Chug Splashes. Yeah, I was going to say, wondering when he was going to begin to throw them, but there they are. Chug Splash is down. Zero limbs still, as you'd expect. He's still looking
100
around
thieves that got this game.
Maybe the hope to save those. We didn't have to necessarily use them just yet. Big anticipation of combat before you know it, or at least the chance of it. Throw those down real quick. 40 HP shield. These two just kind of at a stalemate at the edge of the map. Waiting to see if there's an opportunity to make a play. They are outside the safe zone quite a bit. At some point, the zip lines or even the quad that spawns here might be the key to getting all the way into the safe zone soon. Grenades going out the beamed.
Damn, that was a close shave. That was a close shave.
And aggression begins. The build up, and he's going to try and take the high ground shots from Rux. No contact just yet. He's going to have to do some damage before
you know fucking drop down. You have a good shotgun.
Not going to necessarily
John Wick
be enough against a player with accuracy like Arkham's.
But he does have the combat shotgun, which is the ultimate tool that's in the game.
Never decipher
Rux still at 96 health, has those grenades in his back pocket. Hasn't thrown any more yet.
Right now it is. I don't want to be better. Ooh, dude. He's bad. Can't do it. You can throw grenades. Probably do that. Should be throwing grenades at this point.
Will he begin to throw these grenades? It doesn't appear so. Only 6 builds left. And remember, with only 2 games remaining in the competition today.
Arkham is,
this could spell disaster for their final performance.
Very good position.
Popping 1 shield. Definitely has a major health advantage, but still, height can make all the difference. As he has the combat shotgun, but looks like for now.
Alright, good.
I was anticipating if Rux had made a tag, if he gotten damage on Arkham down at the bottom of that building, I would have expected a chance to pick up the 50 HP or shield because of Siphon. No damage dealt there, so Rux decides to opt his way out. King, one of our high ELA players, 35 HP, gonna try and get that med kit off, but he can't quite. Time to fight it out. A little bit of a build battle and see who can take ownership of the walls. King building up and layering yet again.
Oh my goodness.
The shockwave. He's actually going for it. Are you kidding me? Lunezi goes down.
Nice.
And King.
Okay, new shotgun, AK, SMG, shotgun
stage.
Yeah, the kid.
He just shockwaved to the sky and tried to hit fire and cannon his opponent.
With 30.
Dubs is.
Are you kidding me? With 35 health?
1 shot.
Talk about confidence. It's such an insane play that it catches the opponent off guard. Stompy trying to push on it. I believe this is Dubs on the other side of the wall. Stompy gets the ball,
got him.
Gets the elim.
Got him. Dubs.
Down goes Dubs. And also in the elimination feed, Aqua, our Fortnite world champion from yesterday, has eliminated Tfue.
I know what's going to happen to you next game.
Match 5 out of 6. 1 left.
Nice.
Players, the 16 that have already been eliminated, still have 1 game remaining.
What's Booga going to do? Oh, Booga's the
elf.
elf.
On the standings,
Santa's little helper.
Going to make a rotation away. Avoid any damage. At this point, going to be the most important thing is getting ahead of the game here. As the storm is pressing on in, he's only against 1 other player down here in Lucky. So the opt to rotate out to the west towards the river, probably the best one in the situation. Doesn't want to get challenged. He's got a free rotation up now. Slip is right there. Without realizing it, too, he is relatively close to 2 llamas in the south edge of the map.
Wonderful spot, either of them, one on his left, one on his right. I doubt he will since he's going through the low ground, but Booga, so far, man, 3 out of the 4 games has been fantastic performances. He had 1 where he dropped off early. Remember, he, was eliminated within the first 10 players in the game, but still keeping his lead because
Dusting the mic, just dusting the mic.
In the 3 games up to this point. Teak did show some aggression there for a moment, but decides, nope, I'm going to fall on back. Don't want to take this 1v1 out in the open. Would rather go, continue to loot on up, earn more materials because, hey, 45 builds, you think, that's a lot, but not in any case in a competitive lobby like this. And, well, since he fell back, he's able to get himself a combat shotgun.
Feel good about that. Clicks in the feed, picking up an elimination on Nate. Down to 81 players remaining as this first circle starts to close. 52 seconds left before that happens.
And this first zone, very central on the map. No super drastic rotations need to come on through. Here's a replay from earlier on of how Aqua challenged and eliminated Tfue. Tfue goes to the floor. Aqua gets the floor, and Tfue stands no chance.
You got Tfue, man.
Shot. And there's the frustration from Tfue. As he knows he has not had the day he's wanted.
Oh,
one of the biggest names in competitive Fortnite, one of the winningest players of all time, getting shut down here at the Fortnite World Cup solo final.
I would say it's definitely a different playing field than a lot of these players are used to, no matter where they hail from. Because it's the first time that we've had multiple regions from the entire world all play within the same lobby, the same setups. It's all on LAN here, so it's just a different scenario for everybody. Especially on top of that, if you have younger players that have never had LAN experience, nerves could potentially play into it. But she pushes into the box, gets inside, and the elimination. Robabs goes down here in Neo Tilted.
And I like that a lot from Lecce, right? Because he's got 200 HP. He's already done a lot of damage to his opponent. He also
he's
does
got
23
Booga.
more
Oh my god, you could probably
HP
get
damage
him
to
from
realize,
there,
wait,
man.
I have a major health advantage as Booga begins to dance on the main stage.
Booga is taunting the guy. He's like,
He
come
pushes
on.
in, forces the play,
come
and says,
on.
you know what? If you have
I mean,
a
yeah,
still going to survive through it. You're so little HP that I know
That
I'll
was my
eliminate
best
you, even if I take 150 damage to the trap.
Okay.
Booga, I mean, I guess this is kind of the mindset he has right now. I'm in first. I've got
Yeah,
Shadow
stuff.
Miles, I've got a launch pad, I've got everything I need. Banny, if you want to play this game, bro, you can play this game. But Booga dances, and his opponent says, no, thank you. No dance battle for me today. I'll back on up.
It's enough to pressure him to rotate
Imagine
away.
dancing and scaring away your opponent. That's when you know you're good at the game.
Whenever you dance, you scare me away too, Jack. Don't worry. 73 players remaining as Cease picks up an elimination. A reminder on the right side of your screen, the format for the day. Match 5 of 6. We have 10 points for a victory royale. You make it to top 5, it's only 7. You make it to top 15, that's 5. Top 25 is 3. And every elimination on the board is an additional point.
And also keep in mind,
a big 46. The white damage, a good signal for Booga that player most likely won't challenge unless that's the only thing they have left. No pressure there. Is an opportunity to just rotate away cleanly.
Another thing to keep in mind, you see right there, 40% extra materials when farming. You also have a max count of 500 of each material type. So you cannot carry 1,000 wood or 999 wood, 999 brick, 999 metal. No, it's 500 of each material
one of my
type.
favorite ones, actually. I didn't see the
inside
but I saw
structure of the
it's actually a pretty cool thing.
monster.
Sword.
Glorious mech defeated to save
And
the
actually,
Fortnite Island.
Actually, I'm gonna do that. You wanna reveal what's next?
There.
Season 10.
Scalar gonna pressure from above, knowing that ramp was closing it off for just a second. Gonna try and take it to the wall to edit from above.
Surprised he's not throwing a stink.
Doesn't own it just yet. Very good question. At some point, that's gonna have to come out. Maybe pressure the player off of that campfire.
He's using guitar as a pickaxe.
There it is. Still. These stalemates for taking walls, one of the highest pressure situations because you're on the verge of a box fight in which your opponent, you know they're going to push in. They have a trap that might take a wall and place it. Go shotgun shot 160. The blue pump, very, very powerful.
That's a 160 to the jaw right there. That's what people missed about the pump shotgun when it was vaulted. As we all know, recently was brought back into play, and reasons like that so good in the up-close fights. For a lot of people, the one spot where it just completely outclasses all other shotguns. Obviously, 4 shotguns in play right now.
Thank you for joining in.
Competitive Fortnite. Storm Surge did pop up, but it went away almost instantly as this lobby has dropped a little bit quicker as things have gone on. People maybe getting more desperate, challenging more early game fights to get an advantage. Sam, who won our 4th game, using one of these big shields, and look at the inventory right now. Big shields, chug splashes, and I like that a lot. Sam at first decides, you know what, let me use this big shield. I'll get the full 50 health out of it. But because his opponent interrupts it, realizes, well, what's the lesser of 2 evils? That is popping 2 chug splashes, giving myself as much health as possible.
Get one more chug splash.
Get
one more chug splash.
I like that from Sam, a sign of a
pretty
veteran player.
good.
You got to take what you can get, and that's a perfect example of it right there.
At this point, he's waiting to see if there's an opportunity to sneak a shot through on the surface inside that ramp. He doesn't own it. He does a little bit of damage. He has an opportunity to replace it, and he does, in fact, take it. Push on through, get the wall, goes for the edit, but a big shot from the other side, down to 71. Those chug splashes coming in big. He might have to wait, though, that last one. Don't know if we'll have time to use it. Pressure from the player inside. Rotating down, immediately popping a hole out and getting his baller. Opts to not take that fight. It's probably a very good call, seeing as how he took a ton of damage from the inside before he had a chance to move away.
I mean,
110
who am
total
I?
now. The baller's full HP, though.
Here's
Get
Riverside.
some great, you know,
That
numerous
legendary
advice. Numerous advice.
sniper
actually,
rifle.
if you're,
175 total health to take a bit of damage right there. Often set up on the left side of your screen in a metal box. Really, no one's going to be challenging that. Fully built metal. It's just something that when you see it in competitive Fortnite with how little ammo you have, you're basically like, all right, I'm not bothering you. You're set up. I'm not bothering you. Just don't peek out and shoot at me because it's almost impenetrable, it feels like, with how little time you have to shoot and how little ammo you wind up having in these games. Replay from earlier on. Smeeth, another one of these close box fights, gets that ramp.
I actually have a video.
Tries to challenge forward. Basically edited into the opponent's box. That's Ujay. And will get the combat shotgun. So a major upgrade from a common tactical shotgun up to a combat shotgun. And I'm sure everyone that plays Fortnite knows just how good that is. But back over to Riverside, who's, well, rolling on through the river.
I just have to say, I'm a little surprised that he opted to take the Bolt over Shadow Bomb. Looking at late game Fortnite, especially in competitive, oftentimes you see stacks of players on top of each other and no opportunity for a snipe.
Really wants
Shadow Bomb is going to be a mobility he's not going to have. The baller's gone now. Yeah, it's on the box. I don't know why he didn't take the Shadow Jack.
To be honest, I think Riverside viewed that as, all right, I have this baller. I'm going to play around the baller being my Shadow Bombs for this game. And that's not the case. That was what just happened was the worst thing that could have ever occurred for Riverside. His baller's gone. He's got no movement items left, and now he's stuck on this mountain in a box fight.
Just quick note, Epic Whale is
I'm 100% sure he's
position.
There you go.
So this is a battle at the top of the leaderboard.
Oh no,
stuck inside
dude!
a box.
Come on, bro! You were in such a good position.
Cannot quite find the target. Riverside picking up a big leaderboard elimination right there.
That is a moment
That's
where
huge.
I think nerves get to you a little
100%.
bit. You mentioned top 6. He's thinking back in his head.
My God, bro!
Game here.
You could have gotten it so well. You could have gotten
it. And instead,
you were in a very good position.
A fight that
He was
looked
in a very good
impossible
position.
to win, and is now set up on top of a mountain with near max HP.
Real quick look back here, Plug, our current leader. Look at the shots through there. Little shakes the hands off a little bit, blow off some steam. An arrow goes down inside. Very, very accurate player, Bugga. See Bizzle, the top left of your screen, one of the more well-known players, like you said, one of the most consistent players, Jack, in all of Fortnite that we've ever seen. With the speed of the builds up here, we're gonna try and get a little bit of a higher view. Doesn't want to be stuck down too low in case there's players rotating. Maybe some shots on a baller soon. There's pressure being applied on others and ops into that fight as well.
And if you look at where Buka is right now, on your mini-map, the closest player on the west side of that zone, safe, and everyone has to move right towards him. Also, 6 minis, near max builds, 4 shadow bombs, 2 launch pads, a shotgun. Buga knows what a fantastic position he's in. If he can make it to late game, he basically has guaranteed placement points.
Yeah, he does. I think they're done by now.
Through here.
And knowing me,
leftover collection, and have to do some picking up on the inside. Pretty lucky finds on the inside here. Quite a few materials. Flint knock. He's got to redeploy a ton of minis. Pretty optimal loadout for both mid-range, up close, depending on who's pushing him. Yep. Positional wise, no launch pads,
but a slipstream.
No shadow bombs. He does have the slip, but as soon as he's away from that thing, flying, he can establish a base, but making a move after that's going to be tough. And he is getting attacked from literally every angle on the way in. Players from all sides taking shots. He's going to have to try and push his way through for an elimination, or get out of this area almost immediately. What a tough spot to be in. Shots from both sides. Puts the trap down in anticipation of somebody pushing in, and literally cannot keep the walls up enough.
Pretty unforgiving.
One of the last
That's
players
actually
to rotate from outside the zone. Everyone who's set up, including Buga, knows, hey, we just spray anyone. They've got to come this way. They're going to be floating right at us. If the whole lobby shoots at them, one of us is bound to get them. We're all going to get damage tags, and when the storm surge just popped up, everyone
Buga's pretty chill,
the
man.
damage to keep them above that threshold. Thankfully for the players in the lobby,
trying to
only 2 more people need to drop.
be intimidated by anyone.
Goes away, so don't think it'll come into play too much.
All I can imagine a situation like that right now is from the Pro-Am, Tim the Tatman getting shot at from multiple sides. And, it's just
that was funny. That was funny when
you were one of them, I think.
Yeah, you know, my teammate
Versus
Sean
short,
eliminated
Boga's got the
him.
high ground.
We beat
Flicks.
the Tatman on land and outplaced him.
Benji
As we take a
oh.
look at players stacked up on the west side of the zone.
Who's got the high ground? At this point, yeah.
Makes it better. So, launch pad used by Booga right away. Two launch pads with all this other movement. He just needs to survive this movement. And guess what? This is a zone on the high ground. It's directly on this mountain. So, for pretty early on zone, it's going to get awkward right away.
Yeah.
Booga has made it in, but has taken a lot of damage. Will use some minis to get back up to 150. Has made it to the zone. Benji Fishy just below, who's currently top 13 in this game.
Player to G still has a little bit of a high ground advantage. Just going to look back at Booga, who's trying to build his way up. See if he can spot anybody on the move. This position still very, very good. The edge of the next safe zone. 2 seconds until that pressure starts to apply, and a lot of players you see on the minimap have already started to rotate in. They're making their moves now, but shots from Booga and many others as these players are flying in. Community launch pads, there's shadow bombs used in situations like this, and no shield on that player. Booga right now has a total of 16 elims today. King is in second with 15.
That's all it is. You just get set up in the zone, fire people who have to move from the storm. It's the common enemy. Every player in the lobby. Issa did just go down to class, and we also saw Vivid drop a couple moments ago. So nothing really from Vivid this game, unfortunately. Booga 1 elim so far. Ooh. Look on down. Here's the perspective of a drop coming on in. Everyone's made it up on the mountain right now. Still some people on the edge.
Oh,
you
there is a supply drop.
Clicks.
Just gonna go after it, man.
Creo, Cosmic, Skype, who earlier on took home a game of his own in game 2.
Nice.
Quick note, by the way, Riversun, who we saw eliminate the 6th place position, has gone down himself.
He's got good. He's got a pretty good loadout.
40
pretty good
players, reversing your feet, going down to Dementos. And we are not even at placement position just yet. And we're looking at the 6th to 7th circle transition starting in 10 seconds.
Oh, good.
Everyone has to move. The
43, man. Infantry. I think
it's big infantry. They're going to be able to pick up a lot of eliminations.
Just my 2 cents.
Players going to be on rotation.
Situation.
Things are about to get real tough for a lot of
the
people.
edit. So they just wait, hop the ball, and roll. Now, I don't think you can hold high ground from this early on. I mean, yes, high ground will be very good, but this is going to be a long rotation if you're going to wind up making that happen. Blacks is up top for the moment. Booga, you see him soaring on over with the shockwave grenade.
Sorry about the sound. I don't know why it's pretty
as far as possible.
This is pretty intense.
Well.
Pretty damn intense.
Back behind him, going to take even more shots at players on rotation. Very smart plays. The shadow bomb, and he still has 3 more. So this rotation
you get up there?
A good one.
No.
A chance to get ahead of a lot of people here.
I really do love this. He knows how close he is to placement points, and he's got such a lead right now that unless someone has a monster performance, if he just gets placement points, makes it to the top 25 again, with just 2 games left, that could be really all he needs to secure this Fortnite World Championship. And he got the zone. The zone's going back his way, but Booga goes to edit out, and there's a shotgun waiting for him. Down to under 50 HP, frantically trying to pop these minis. The spray coming on through. Can our leader hang on to placement points? Storm Surge activated on some of the remaining players. Booga peeks out again for a shot. Not going to connect yet. 32 players left. Shadow Bomb being used. Can Booga make it to the top 25? 3 more points. Can be the difference between making it as our #1 player today or 2nd place. Booga's still bouncing up. 30 players left. Just so frantically looking around for potential.
What a save. What a
Notice
save.
as soon as they're box to box, right next to another player, players like Booga will opt to build straight up. 1 more, 26 remaining. If 1 more goes down, he's going to pick up placement points. Keep an eye on the feed just to see only 1 elimination remains. There it is, 25. So he's already into the placement points now.
This is intense.
Even higher on the leaderboard. Everybody left picks those points up too, but as we move, players starting to drop left and right. Sky still sitting on a baller as well as Fatch.
Song is down?
Yeah. And Booga right in the middle, right in the thick of it. Look on the outside. That's a very smart play. In that moment, you have a baller flying up. You don't want those players to hold on to those. Taking the shots to break it out. Maybe there's an engagement.
Only 8 builds.
15 now.
out of builds, no movement items, made it to top 15. For me, this is already a fantastic game for Bugha. You've got placement points.
Oh, he got
elimination.
Oh, he got
Bugha, what are you doing? 2 elims come in. He's back up to near full HP, and he's in the top 10, and he's got all the materials he could ever need.
Damn.
Bugha, how are you making this happen? From no mats and no movement. One player nearby. Bugha at 3 elims, still ahead of the zone. He can absolutely win this game, Dr. Lupo. 2 away from more placement points.
Opts to drop the extra weapons in his inventory. A gold AR, the green pump, 6 minis and a campfire. 42 builds remaining, and he's just looking. 5 players left. He is sitting in one of the best spots I think he could have possibly imagined. Creo picking up an elimination. He is he's sandwiched between Pika, Jesus, Creo, and the ultimate low ground. He's looking any chance.
He's chill, man. He is
chill. Not looking to get a shot in. Might be enough.
Still has mats. Still has mats. 1 player below. Bugha just staying ahead of this. Has only taken 4 ticks so far. Player up top fighting. Player down low fighting. Can Bugha make the impossible happen? Dodges the trap as well. Taking a little bit of storm damage. Bugha's got to make it on in. 1 build left, drops on in Bugha. No! But either way,
it's all good. Look,
he's done what he needs to do. He knows how
that was a good fight.
The game is. Now we're in our top 3.
That was a pretty good
up
fight.
top. You're following him earlier on today. Pizas and Creo all the way down low.
0 builds in Pika's inventory. It's going to be tough. He's going to have to drop in and go for a fight. Cannot connect. Pizas finds that elimination. Creo gets the final 1 in game 5. Goes to Creo.
Creo.
I don't think he can believe it. I don't know if
you saved by Storm.
Knocks the opponent, hits him for that body damage, and then shoots him into the zone. Great game for Creo right there, and you see repping his team. Ooh, clutching on up in the end. Here it is, the final moments. The zone closing right, a fully closed zone. Creo's got to build on up. You see, health advantage was to Pieces. Pieces would win that game, but a full damage Flint knock connects and swings the tide in his favor.
Yes, it does. Yes,
Here
indeed.
it is
Yes,
one more time.
indeed.
Boom!
Yes,
Right
indeed.
to the chest, sends him into the zone, and wins the game. From Creo as he takes game 5, the victory royale, 10 points plus his eliminations.
Huge game there, and Jack, we still have 1 more.
We do.
One more game, man.
1 more game here at the Fortnite World Cup Finals. I don't see any way that Bugha's fallen out of first with that performance. He absolutely popped off. We're about to take a look at our standings, but Bugha may just be in a position where all he needs to do is find 1 or 2 points. And
It is. 1 or 2, are you kidding me?
Ladies and gentlemen, Bugha sits atop his throne, far and away in first place. He is 1 game from $3 million. The most eliminations.
How many?
Tied for the most victory royales. By far the most points. Bugha has put on a show and is nearing the title of Fortnite World Champion.
Here's a look at the remainder of your top 20 there. 17 points.
Yep.
That's what you need to break into the top 20, Jack.
Yep.
But even then, you're still 30 points away from first place.
You need a 20-plus elim game with a victory royale and 0 for Bugha. Good luck, have fun, but we do have Jordan Fisher on the floor with one of our members of that last game.
Playing health right there at the very end in such a high caliber game. Again, another stacked lobby right here at the end. Yo, hoping for some lucky health ticks in your favor, and that happened. Thank God for the best reaction for the wins so far today, in my opinion. Where's your headspace at going into this last game?
Right now, I'm on 3rd. I just need to clutch up, make sure that I don't make any dumb plays. I just keep calm and keep how I've been playing.
Well, it's great work. Fantastic job. Great victory royale. Back up to you guys.
So what do you do with Kim?
Great to hear from Creo right there as he takes game number 5, the nerves in those final moments. You saw the celebration. I think he even almost couldn't believe how it all ended on up. But victory royale, you know the difference between 21st and 20th is over $60,000. And a win like that, with how close the standings are, could make the difference between earning $50,000, which is still great, but $112,000 which is to follow, but we're not quite ready for Game 6 yet. We do have Balla over on Unreal Island with some analysis of Game 5.
Yeah. Analysis.
Guys, I do have that, and what a performance here from Booga today. Every single game almost placing consistently in the points and finding himself some eliminations as well. Only falling in that second game early on. We're going to take a look at some of the eliminations that led him to a top 5 finish here. Booga, first off, breaking the ball on the side of the zone, making sure that he knows exactly who's moving in. Why is he moving in with the baller inside of the zone, inside of the center?
Oh, I gotta check this out.
And as well,
one second, I gotta check this out. What was that? Was that like the freaking Wakanda salute?
Exactly who's moving in.
Oh,
Why is he moving in with the baller inside of the zone, inside of the center? And then as well,
Not the only thing that people are excited about with Fortnite right now, Dr. Lupo. There's always so much going on, and I'm sure a lot of people in this sold-out arena know. This week, it's time for a new season, and
indeed.
You guys want to see the first tease for the new season of Fortnite? I guess we should show it to him. I have not seen this before. Oh!
Fortnite X.
All that Epic told us is think back. August 1st, 2019, the next season of Fortnite. Is that what I think it is? Is that what I think it is?
It is.
Lupo?
CD in the third, I bet, is going nuts right now. Jack.
They're bringing it back.
Dusty Depot.
Dusty
Ladies
Depot.
and gentlemen, are you guys excited for the next Fortnite season?
That's
August 1st, all will be revealed. And my God, I got the
August
chills
1st,
right now.
August
That's the
1st is
first
when
time we
more
saw that.
things
They
will
didn't show
be
us anything.
revealed.
It is.
Oh my goodness, you see how excited everyone is. And we are moments away from the final game. Everything that's happened. You see the leaderboards, you see how far it is. You're Booga, you're up by so much. What's the rest of this lobby thinking right now?
It might at this point be a battle for second place, Jack. Such a lead right now. Booga showing why he feels as though he deserves world champion. And at this point, I mean, you can't really blame him. He's playing out of his mind, playing incredibly intelligently. Positioning is key, and he's going for placement every single time. He's showing why he's on top of the leaderboard.
I can't believe he is so far and away the best. It has been something that I think a lot of people expected him to do well, but this well, anyone to perform this well, be this far ahead, unbelievable in a stacked lobby like this. Folks, use the hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Tell us your thoughts on the teaser we just saw,
Are we going back to
on what you're expecting from these final games, on your thoughts overall.
If they went back to season 1, if they went back,
such a blast to be at this point.
Classic Saudi.
Where we started to
Even though it's
hear
been about 2 years since
these online qualifiers, everyone
but
coming on
if
in.
they went back to season
the
1.
big names, the teams getting involved. Fortnite competitive is at a fantastic point, and with the millions watching online, I think it's a testament to how well it's doing.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. You see a look down at the players getting ready for their final match of the day. 6 games total, the end of this next and final match. We will find out who the Fortnite World Champion in the solos competition is. If you're online, make sure you give some shout outs to those that you think can climb the board. It is still anybody's game. We've seen crazy comebacks before, and it would not surprise me to see it again. Jack,
His real name is like Toby.
Match.
So
the nerves for some of these players probably at an all-time high.
Yes.
You have to realize there's going to be more after this, though.
Oh,
There's got to be more after this.
Yeah, this is not the end by any means. Yes, it's the biggest event in Fortnite
workout,
history,
man.
but there is still
You kind of played, but workout
future for this
right
game.
after
The
this
new
game.
season coming out, more and more to be announced, I'm sure, very, very soon. All I know is the players are getting loaded on up and ready
Another
to see them
kids
all
playing
looking
this
around.
game.
What an experience this must be for all of them, their families in attendance. So many people here I've met this weekend, Ben, have been. It's their first ever gaming event. You know, not a lot of
How
happens.
high can it go?
Because of,
Nope.
well, quite frank, how expensive it
Damn
is to run
chair.
events in this area of the country. But
this.
Epic do it, and
Okay.
they do it in style. What a
Does it.
fantastic venue.
She does it now.
The marshmallow performance earlier. I saw how excited everyone was outside at the fan events too. It's been so cool, and I've been a part of so many competitive gaming events up to this point. This might be my favorite. This might be my favorite. I'm saying it right now.
It's touching, Jack. I appreciate that.
It is. I mean, it might just be. And that's all I know. I keep looking around, seeing everyone just excited, flowing back on in after the bathroom breaks, waiting for this last game. We appreciate your patience as we just get the lobby all set up. Want to make sure everything's all set and good to go. Remember, after this ends, if you're in the venue, don't just rush on out to get home and go back outside of the fan experience. We're going to crown our champion. We're going to crown our world champion. You want to be here for that big moment. Congratulate them. Celebrate the achievement. The trophy. How are they going to get that trophy home to the players? Because
Jack, I'll give you $20 if you charge down there and grab that thing right now.
I almost threw the headset down. I almost threw the headset down, and I thought, you know what? If I don't do that, my career is much more worth it, I believe. Again, you know, look at these lobbies. We played on these setups the other day. You know, you can't really creative. You can just sit there. So you're looking at the leaderboards, and we're used to in-game tournaments, right, where you can go and see the prize pool and see how the split works. The solo and duos you see there on the screen. The solos, you know, competition is there. You click compete, and the prize pool pops up in-game at $3 million for first. And it, like, that's where it first set into me that we were actually at the World Cup final.
Yeah. When it's right there on the screen in front of you, it's real. Two of the fan favorites, Dubs and Mega, on your screen right now, and I gotta love that kid's hair.
Like I said,
I wish
too young.
I could have hair like that. There's Issa, who I know has quite the loyal following online. Some people were excited to see him perform this weekend. So much pressure for these guys. Look at the fans around the venue. Everyone excited for these games to continue. I think the skins in the background of Chicken and Raptor were battling. Thundersticks provided some of our fans in the venue today. Creo again, our winner from that last game. The thoughts going through his head right now must be, I've got to rise this leaderboard. I've got to get as high as possible. Reverse, recently announced a member of TSM. Always seems like something's going on in Fortnite competitive. Now I think a lot of people wondering too, what's next to come, right?
The all Koreans are the same.
Is there going to be more of a focus on trios? I know a lot of people have been looking forward to that. Do teams now switch up after seeing this performance? Do you think teams begin to switch up if they're going to play trios on who they should have in on their squad?
One of the things I noticed watching the few trio tournaments that we've seen over the last couple weekends, teams really have kind of mixed who they typically play with. That being said, one of the things I love the most about watching those is that the groups, it's always changing. And I think that exemplifies just how connected the competitive community really is. A lot of these players, they're all friends. We see Skeptic holding up the L to the camera, which is very funny, and people doing emotes on each other after elimination in game. But at the end of the day, there's really kind of no bad blood between anybody because they all recognize they're all here for the same thing. It's a competition. On top of that, it probably doesn't hurt that they all take home $50,000 at a minimum, right? Every single player. So that definitely can't hurt. But real quick before we move on, Jack, I just want to ask, did you ever think that any of these players, the list of names, do you think we'd see these players at this event? I mean, we've watched them grow and change over 10 weeks of qualifiers. We saw people kind of rise up out of nowhere sometimes. And the other side of that, we have players like Tfue, who've been well known for forever. It's amazing to see the list.
No, for sure. There's players that I think a lot of people expected to make it in, but didn't. All I know is there's been one player who's dominated so far today. It's Booga, and Sundown is over on Unreal Island with a breakdown of how he made it to this point.
Thank you so much, Lupo and Courage. And with one match left in the Fortnite World Cup final, one match to put everything on the line, the Sentinels player, Booga, has dominated the entire competition. He said from the very beginning, I don't care what's going on. I'm going to do me. I'm going to challenge every single player. I'm going to play aggressively. I'm going to look to get in their faces, get in the end game. The player who qualified from the start made a name for himself after the host and continuing running through. Let's take a look into some of his eliminations and how he's been able to build himself a 15-point lead over the best of the best in the world, and he's doing it by intelligent rotation, getting to the far side of the zone, and then hitting his shots. kid. Bugga says, bring the
Man,
rest
that
of the
double
lobby
kill,
on.
that was
I'm
amazing.
looking
Last
to
game, the
go
double kill,
aggressive. We
brilliant.
talked about King and his shoot first mentality, but the difference between King and Bugga is Bugga chooses his spots when to go. He knows when he needs to hold off, when he needs to be safe for a second, and when he can go aggressive. You see him stall just for a minute there against Creo, who's pushing in to the top.
So he actually won the game. I didn't see
able
that.
to execute the game plan, come
I didn't
up
see
with
that.
the victory royale, and keep pushing forward. Now again, you know, right now he has 0 elims, able to pick up one right there, but he's chasing back into the storm. He's not looking to run forward. He's looking to catch the
I can never make out where I'm going for the ads. I love this kill. This is such a cool kill, by the way.
With the infantry rifle,
Probably not to you guys, but to me, it's something that I know I enjoy. That's why I kill. Because I try to get away with it. I'm a bit more lucky, kind of like pull it back. Usually if I see someone behind the wall, but yeah, no, it's pretty awesome.
You need to be defensive or disengage because he is not letting it go. He wants the top spot. He wants to be your wire-to-wire leader, and he wants to name himself the best Fortnite player in the world. One more match left. Lupo and Courage, take it away and close us out.
Close us out, bro. Start the game.
Great stuff, Sundown. Gotta tell the story of how our player in first place has made it this far. Again, we appreciate your patience as we just get a couple things sorted in the lobby, but I believe I've received word.
Look at that, man.
Everything is set. It all comes down to this. Millions and millions played online. Only 200 qualified for the Fortnite World Cup Finals, and this is the last game. The battle bus has launched one more time. The Fortnite World Cup Finals ends right here.
Celebrate one more time.
All 100 players on your screen there, Jack. Bugga sitting out in front of everyone thus far. A commanding lead. Creo, the winner of the previous game, flying in there in the northeast corner of the map. Spread of players across the screen. There's your top 10 on the left side. Bugga, Song, Creo, Skype, Nate, Riverson, Rux, and the rest. Average placement thus far of 25th for Creo. Only 8 eliminations, but 30 points. Enough to put him in 3rd place thus far.
One thing to remember too, yesterday, Zate and Saf held on to the lead the first 5 games, and it slipped away in game 6. Bugga has been in the lead for all 5 games. He has never lost the first place spot. Will he suffer the same fate, or can he close it out right here to remain our Fortnite World Champion?
Bugga, by the way, hails from Pennsylvania, 16-year-old player. Sentinels qualified the very first week for the World Cup.
That's why he just got his first part-time job to try to start earning money to buy himself a car. But instead, after this, could walk away with $3 million. Dude's gonna walk on in and say, I quit.
Can't wait for him to get home. You know, imagine he wins $3 million here. His parents are going to ask him to take the trash out, and he's going to laugh.
Yeah, right. He'll just pay his butler to do that, I guess, at that point. As Cease currently set up, not many builds. One of these very early awkward fights. Cease knows that as well. You look at what he has: a common infantry rifle, 25 shots, and a drum gun, 0 ammo.
Ooh, nice.
The first 4 to go down in this match is Skype, who was in 4th place.
Wow, so a little bit of pressure already gone from that top spot. Cease just moving for the moment. 2 chug splashes. If I do as he throws
laser, major laser.
Outside this Sunny Steps side of the map. Cease continues to bounce around at the moment. Not many AR shots left. Will get some.
Sorry about my joke. They're pretty pathetic.
The farming of stone continues.
They're pretty awesome.
Outside of Loot Lake, just fighting on the outskirts of it.
Just kind of building, walling against any pressure from Zate. Doesn't want to get caught on rotation. Interesting loadout. That gold combat very early. That's a Very solid pickup to start this match. Single shockwave remaining. Legendary grenade launcher. Drum gun in hand as well.
I mean, talk about a great starting inventory. As we do swap on over. Blaster in a fight. Side pressure plant. One player nearby, only at 73 HP. But again, when you're in this far into the tournament, you kind of get to a point where you just got to go for it. You got to just force an engagement. You got to get the points up. Shot comes out. Not able to get it done as of yet. Blaster still healing.
Yeah, you could probably do about 2-3 of those.
I think 75 HP.
2 more of those. Yeah.
Tfue picking up an elimination. Let's see here how things play out. 90 players remaining. The first circle starts to close in 50 seconds. Bandaging on the egg. Blaster just hanging out here. That player down below. Going to see if he can take shots here in a second. T-Chub's going to roll all the way down. Looks like no engagement going to happen here. Yarko, Sledwicki, 2 players that have faced off against each other a number of times. Going to go for the wall. And in fact, get it. Gets the angle inside and pushes on through. A solid aggressive play from Sledwicki to pick up his first elimination of Game 6.
Very clean, and that will end Yarko's Fortnite World Cup run. Solid performance earlier on. We'll see where he stacks up with the rest of this lobby when it's all said and done. Reminder, this is our final game here tonight. Use the hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Get it trending just like yesterday. Alongside the millions of people watching online. Sam, who is our player as well, near the top of the leaderboards. What can he do in this last game? Can he make the trek to try to catch up to Bugha, who was 15 points ahead in first?
Pika 1v1. And angled down through a handful of edits here at Mega Mall. He's going to push around the side and try and make his way inside. Mall itself. Pika earned 12 of his total points in just the last match. And I think that says a lot about what is possible. In 11th place when we rolled into this game. Pika trying to find a way inside. Pushing down through the outside. Maybe does in fact get the wall replace. Are you kidding me? Used the shockwave to get down the wall. The player inside was smacking out with it. That's unbelievable.
He basically called the bluff. He called the bluff. The guy was trying to break the wall to secure it for his own. Pika was like, okay, break the wall for me. I'll just replace it my own. And he does just that. Pika, full HP, 2 slurp juices, 6 minis, a very good assault rifle, the shotgun, but it looks like the aggression doesn't end here. Wall instantly broken. Pyramid's placed as well. And he can just continue to play these box fights. Really use the shockwave to try to drop down his opponent again. Said it once. I'm surprised we've used that same tactic here soon.
At this point, 100 HP, 100 shield.
Let's see what's gonna happen.
I do not blame him for being aggressive here. Knowing that players may be a little sparse in terms of loot, he's trying to track Keemstar on the outside, rotating around the edge of Mega Mall. These 2 players going to end up on top of each other before you know it. Oh my gosh. Floor loot.
Okay.
A heavy sniper rifle.
And another slurp. Okay.
He's in a pretty good position right now.
He's looking for it.
It's like Batman.
See him watching.
He's waiting.
Switch you.
Does use those audio cues to try and track down the opponent. Opts to back out of the fight for just a second. Get a different angle. Pika's awareness inside Mega Mall is insane. Knowing exactly where his opponents are and exactly
going
when to
in
push.
with a sniper right
Already
now.
picked him 1 elimination using those skills. Going to see if he can find a second player in the slip. Going for the snipe. Oh, and he can't quite connect.
Imagine
connected that.
He hits that shot. He dabs after it. And he dabs after it. He's like, all right, this is mine. See you guys. As Hood J, the only remaining player in the Mega Mall area. Pika just going to go back, loot on up. You know, another slurp still inside, so Pika knows if he gets in a fight, he can get the elimination. Even if he's weak, he can pop a slurp, go grab another. Don't think that's going to happen.
Benchy Fishy and Core Gaming and
Bugha. Core Gaming and Benchy Fishy. Within a couple boxes of each other, maybe a fight will break out here soon.
Snow rolling in the top right as well. You know, the baller.
And Leo.
Law boom on your screen. Edges there. Laleo beating quite a bit A ton of damage taken. Meanwhile, back
Arkham.
at that small town in the southeast corner of the map. Benny, Arkham, back in a 1v1.
I'd like to repeat
Most
the words.
likely, honestly, round 6 of these two facing off at the beginning of these games. 73 players left. The Storm right on their backs. Things are going to start moving here in a middle battle, but these two decide to fight it out right now. He phased through the floor, could have opted to go up, misses the shot.
Pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back.
40 going to opt for a mini. Even just the 10 shield might be enough to save him from Arkham. We'll have to see here. Pressure with the stink. He's trying to find a top down and kind of lead the shots on what may or may not be a build out from Arkham. Right through it, Arkham dropping all the way down the campfire. And he's going to drop that on one corner in an effort to push Arkham out of the box. Unbelievably, honestly, what a shot from Arkham, the bottom there. A quick edit on the ceiling, shot comes through.
Good recovery.
Health very similar between the two. Slight advantage to Arkham right now.
Have to imagine that almost every 1v1 between these two has played out so complexly. If we're watching this right now, I guarantee you this is not the first time we've seen it. What a shot, a quick flip and edit on the ramp.
It's cat and mouse. It's literally cat and mouse in this fight.
It is.
This is one of the most insane 1v1s I think I've ever seen. 64 HP remaining. Bandy's gonna have to back all the way to the top. Maybe the campfire down. Just a second gets dropped in. Gonna have to wall against that. The ramp to save him. One chance for the minis. He's gonna wall off still back and forth.
This is like 50-50 right now.
Two Titans. The campfire goes down.
Oh, he has the campfire.
As soon as that wall happens, the ramp inside just to prevent any push from the opponent. Arkham finding another angle might be the only option at this point. The campfire, though, is going to have dealt a lot of HP back to Baney. Shot through, can't quite connect. Here we go, pressure up top. Gosh, the pyramid block. Finally, the Storm deciding it's time to play
good
the
shot,
fight
man.
out.
Good shot, buddy.
Baney goes down.
Good shot.
Great fight, though, man.
That was insane.
That went on for a full 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I love that we got to keep our eyes on that, but moving across the map now, it's Pika. We were complimenting so much on how easily he can move through these boxes in Mega Mall, how he can navigate these areas, and it looks like that same exact pattern is continuing. It's Flexi, who's at a major health disadvantage, but as I say that, does hit a quick little shotgun shot that I think...
I love these plays, by the way, these shadow bombs. I love these plays.
Reassess what he's doing, maybe a misclick.
Because you learn, like, limitations. What they've kind of managed to exploit from it is pretty amazing.
Some sort of aggressive stance soon. A minute on this Storm before it closes. He's not in the next safe zone.
Land on the ground, try to,
picking up an
try to touch anything vertical,
players remaining. Outside of that 70 range before the Storm starts to tick on you.
Pika, no wall in place yet.
He's just trying every chance he can to take
time.
those walls.
He is.
This is the speed of these players. This is some insane stuff. This is why they're here at the World Cup. Can't quite hit the shot. He did a reset, took the other corner out, just as the opponent inside takes a shot with the shotgun. Can't quite connect. Still going for these wall replaces. Big hit there down to 16 HP.
He managed to tag it pretty hard. Pretty hard.
So with the zone pushing as well, this looks like it's going to be a shadow bomb play. Pika is actually going to dive into the zone to make his path a little bit less predictable. We'll take the long route. 10 health, he's got a launch pad. I'm going to tell you right now, Pika is not happy. Yeah, you see him kind of sigh right there. Uses both shadow bombs. Uses all the materials he has. Literally can only build one wall, can't even box up for safety. Uses one of his launch pads to not a fun spot to be in if you're Pika. Look, still can't even build one box.
Does have the minis. He's got a campfire in case he wants to put it down. I think the fear at this point is if he puts that campfire down,
he's one shot.
Like
He is
flare for
so
anybody around.
Yeah.
This is the box to push. Meanwhile, Tifu, Dusty Divot flying across, landing near more opponent builds potentially. Back down, shots at the target. He was right next
this is
to
going to be pretty exciting.
He's in this box alone. You see in the mini-map, only a handful of players around Dusty Divot. Clicks, reverse, Bizzle you see in the top. Pretty far out there.
And Clicks is actually, one of his trio partners. Previous trio cup that happened. They're fighting each other right now. Trying to make his way out of here. Still not in zone yet. Really used his launch pad. He did use his last shockwave, if you remember, as well. There is some loot nearby, but player challenging team who's going to back up for the moment and rebox.
Oh, you think he's pretty... Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we got a fight here. Tifu 1 versus 1. Is it Clicks? Not exactly sure why. It is Clicks on the other side of this wall. So Tfue versus Clicks. Veteran versus the up-and-comer. Tfue backing up for the moment. It looks like there's another player nearby as Clicks will just say, no, don't need this anymore. We'll fly away. Karhu goes down on the elimination feed. Cease goes down on the elimination feed. 63 players left. No Storm Surge in this one yet.
Bugha picking up an elimination. His first of this match.
Okay.
Just another point between him and second place.
Man. Consistency so key, and Bugha has embodied that today. Only one bad game. The rest have been absolutely electric. Bugha's just sat up with the high ground in the zone, waiting patiently for this lobby to drop on down. Snazy now 1 box away from an opponent. 54 HP, needs to perfectly edit one of these walls and get a shot down range. You see his opponent not sitting still for any moment. He expects him to drop it, and that's exactly what happens. He's finding the patterns and how his opponent likes to play these box fights. But still with no healing and his opponent jumping back up, you got to think some shields will be replenished and Snazy will be at even more of a health disadvantage.
To go
Snazy and Martino, right?
Shields pop. There we go. Catches himself.
I love these names, man.
He's going to hold the edit on this pyramid. He's looking for a chance to push Martine. If one arises, we'll have to see. Snazy's hope may be to catch him off guard. There we go. Here's the Shadow Bomb. Going to rotate up and away. Use that redeploy and try and make his way into the safe zone. Only 54 HP. He's not quite safe yet, but now it's the chance to look to the right. Get a couple shots. Players
down
on the
your
box.
left, you don't know
Right
about it. Oh!
Headed through, and Rogue Shark sets the trap and gets him. Tough play there. Clicks. Meanwhile, 1 elimination, 62 builds. Sit on 2 Shadow Bombs. To see here, the very north edge. He's underneath the plateau of Dusty Divot. Reverse down there as well. Tfue on the edge. Astonish, Smeef, Zate. So many players stacked up near each other, and oftentimes you do see players utilizing the already built structures for easy wall replaces. No surprise. Popped up next to
inventory looks great, but he just doesn't have a lot of ammo.
Imagine he picks up 1 elim on someone who is can kind of fill those numbers up. It'd be a great spot for late game. 7 RPG, still very, very good. 69 total builds down to 60 now. 56 players remaining. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the final game of the solo competition here at the Fortnite World Cup. It literally all comes down to this.
5 players will become millionaires right after this game. Tfue just picked up his 3rd elim. 5 players. Still has some launch pads, some great loot on the player that he just took down. But he doesn't have the zone again. He does have 2 launch pads, and I'm going to use one of those. He wants to make sure he makes some of those placement points, and there it comes. Launch pad used. Will Tfue get beamed? Right, this is one of those moments where you're just thinking, Ben, please don't shoot me, please don't shoot me, please don't shoot me, please don't shoot me. Looks like he'll make it out through unscathed.
Literally flying past the windows of opponents, going to land on top of the second structure. Somebody underneath. Start layering up. 86 build. Still has another launch pad. Has a boogie just in case maybe a baller rolls past close enough. He can boogie the player directly out of it.
This
Try
is
and
zone.
pick up that elim, jump
This is
the
where
baller roll away. Even in a clutch situation, the boogie bomb can give you an opportunity for a free shotgun shot on someone that may be unsuspecting. The loadout here, look at this, 2 campfires, 10 redeploys,
this is like a whole new sort of
2 shockwaves,
game
6
sense
minis, but
in like
no
the world. I
medium
don't know if it
ammo,
happens in like the actual game, I don't know. But
When the Fortnite
like
World Cup qualifier started, Bugha qualified in League 1, in NA, in first place. From the moment Fortnite World Cup started, he finished atop the North America region.
Cautious.
And now in another spot again where it can happen, and he's just dancing up top. He knows really this is his to take unless someone has legitimately the best performance ever in the history of a Fortnite competitive game. Bugha should be our Fortnite World Champion. Tfue and Benji fishing fighting on the bottom right of the screen. Sam, who's trying to contest and take that throne. This was the replay. Did get his first elim of this game, and you see the fist bump right there. That was Clicks who gets cut down.
Sam.
At this point, 51 players remain.
Sam and T-Vez, this is going to be awesome if they meet.
This lobby is going to get very, very tight.
Going to this match, Song was 2 points ahead of third place and 15 points behind
third place.
first.
With 15 points behind first.
Talk about a lead.
Yeah, talk about
just now
lead,
hit
man.
our top 50 in this game. Arkram goes down. Psalm, one elimination. Can he close the gap? If you think about it right now, he's still 15 behind, man.
You have to be.
Booga's still in this game. What he needs right now, Booga to go down. And he needs
It's amazing.
5 more limbs and a victory royale, but no! No! Psalm
Who got him? Zayt got him.
Concord, it's Zayt, and as that happens, Booga gets a limb. The pieces are falling into place, and Booga's about to call checkmate.
Tifu on your screen here. 3 eliminations.
Avenge me!
Still has the launch pad, sitting on a pretty similar loadout. Not a lot has changed as he's waiting, biding his time, looking for eliminations up above the rest, though. Booga
hasn't had to move in 5 minutes.
Nope.
He's had height, he hasn't had to move in 5 minutes. He's sitting so pretty. Here's that a limb that we missed when Psalm got taken out. And
are you kidding? Look at him laugh. Look at him absolutely laugh. Quick tap on Storm on the move.
It's a gift. Is it his birthday? That's about as free as it gets.
Booga might be the luckiest player with zone placement I think we've ever seen in a competitive Fortnite match.
Yeah.
Sitting atop his tower,
Verity,
castle
Rogue Shark,
of
Mr.
metal,
Savage, Lucia,
and he built it with metal earlier, and
Stampy,
he just kind of hoped it would work out this way, and it did.
Booga is really showing who's the boss, man.
It basically sums up the leaderboard.
Really
This is the leaderboard in the game itself. Booga on top, nobody nearby, no threats, nothing. Now with the zone moving, everyone soaring, and this is where it picks up quick, folks. The final moments of the Fortnite World Cup. We're watching Booga. Oh, please. Imagine.
Picking up a pair in the feed there. Fledermoy's
He's going towards the kill box? Is that what he's trying to do? Is he that cocky that he wants to?
25 is when placement starts to come in, and Booga is looking for shots on everybody flying around.
He's a bit too confident. He's getting a bit cocky right now.
Jesus and others looking to try and contest. Benji Fishy moving up as well. Ballers still rotating in the low ground. Tifu making his way across. A lot of damage coming in. Only 1 minute in the inventory and 15 builds remaining. A tough spot.
Oh, dude.
But can he survive?
Yeah, I highly doubt it.
Player count continuing to drop. Fizzle, Takamura, Zayt picking up multiple eliminations. 30 players remaining. 29 to get closer and closer. Benji Fishy goes down. Tifu eliminated. In the box, Kurtz picks that one up.
25.
That will end Tifu's Fortnite World Cup. Zayt drops off high ground for the moment. Booga's still alive in this game in the bottom right.
Tifu doesn't need to worry about that. He's already pretty loaded.
At this point, it's basically a victory lap. Yeah, he's getting beamed out of the sky.
I mean, yeah, it would help a lot, but oh,
He'll drop on in, pop some minis. King on the top right had 6 limbs. The guy's an absolute brawler. The 13-year-old should be so proud of how he played today. Lol Boom up top, Crew, the double qualified player as well.
Picking up another elimination. Takamura goes down.
Booga now into your top 20. Mongrel, your Fortnite World Cup is over. Vivid's still alive in this game.
Oh, damn.
It's Crew with 4 limbs atop our leaderboard
19.
right now. As most limbs of who's still alive. Booga there as well. Has all the ammo in the world, not a lot of materials. Let's see how he weasels his way out of this one.
Ball Boom, the ultimate high ground. T-Chef going for a challenge up top. Does, in fact, take it over. Meanwhile, Booga, box fight for his life. A little back and forth here. He's waiting to see if this player rotates out. There it is, a big shot. Another elimination.
Dude!
He's got near max materials. He's going to trap the ball. Oh, the ball escapes. The absolute seeds right now. Booga's still moving through, and at this point, it's a sign of respect. We've got to watch this man continue to dominate. A statement is
He's winning it. He's winning it.
Dr. Lupo at the end of this
There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it.
The best Fortnite player in the world.
I've never seen anybody play in a competitive Fortnite match with a smile on his face like this kid right now, but he is absolutely dominating every single player he's run into thus far. Looking for a shot here. Quick couple of edits. Rotating back away. Pressure from above, and he's immediately going to wall that off.
Get to the top.
The kid's
Top 10. He's smiling. He knows it. He knows it.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Maybe he's a bit cocky, but yeah, he's right. He's pretty damn good. He's pretty. Wow.
First since today started. There's
Top
all the
7.
remaining players.
See.
Running low on materials, but he still wants more.
Stompy, DJ Bogo.
4 limbs in this game.
Batch.
Set up for a moment. Pyramid comes through. Booga still alive. Shots going down. Can't connect with that one. 1 wheel left. The final moments of Fortnite. Roll.
Dude.
Down.
Dude.
Doesn't even matter. 4 players, 3 players remaining. It's a fight out for the victory royale in Game 6.
2 left.
1v1.
2 left.
Crew still in it. T-Chubb as well, back and forth. And it might come down to a heel-off. T-Chubb dropping down those campfires. We'll see here. Crew following it all the way in, and T-Chubb goes down. Crew with the victory
7.
royale. Crew with 7 eliminations and the victory royale. The monster performance at the end of it. That could have just secured him hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe even over $1 million by just that game right there with how he does.
Look at this
But
kid. Look at you, man.
There's no way anyone beats him. Your Fortnite World Champion, Booga!
Booga. Booga.
$3 million richer, the biggest individual prize victory in competitive gaming history.
Damn, bro.
Watching online, and folks, he didn't narrowly win. He absolutely took the best Fortnite lobby in history and taught him a darn lesson.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for your Fortnite World
Champion
solo winner.
There's his family looking on.
$3 million.
Hey,
this.
double chicken.
Deserved, man.
Get the extra meat, do the whole thing. He's buying. I'm going to tell you right now. And there's the dance. I don't know what that is.
I have no idea, but it's pretty funny, man.
He's got boots like that. And that's what it's all about. Booga hasn't moved, as we'll probably need security to get him to leave this arena. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up again for Booga, your new Fortnite World Champion. We have casted almost every single major Fortnite event up to this point, Dr. Lupo.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You deserve it. Relax. Take a break.
Seen a performance come close to that. So far and away, the winner that literally them backstage didn't even have to calculate it. It was done.
Immediate. Normally, folks, we do have to wait a minute or two, and they need to triple check. They went right to it. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Insane.
Out of the gate. The trophy presentation, by the way, is coming up very, very soon. But Jack, Booga from game 1, a 19-point victory royale to start the entire thing all the way to the finish.
He nearly doubled.
Lord.
He nearly doubled second place.
These guys. Look at these guys, man.
Points.
Even Batch, man.
Dominant performances in competitive gaming history. Second, congratulations to Sam, who beats out Epic Whale by 1 point to earn $1.8 million. Epic Whale, Creo, King there as well. You see Crew,
1.8, 1.2, 1, 900, 600.
and Fatch. And then our top 50. Rux, T-Chub, Mongrel, Stompy, Dubs, Pika, Bellow, Clicks, Peter Pan, and Commandment.
112, man.
$112,500 or more earned. But as always, congratulations to everyone who made it this far out of the biggest stage, the Fortnite World Cup Finals.
Absolutely ridiculous. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. From myself and Courage JD, the opportunity to cast the Fortnite World Cup could not have happened without you. But this isn't our show, Jack. We absolutely need to pass it off. If you could, please, Golden Boy, take it away.
I got you covered, fellas.
Wait,
what
so
an incredible ending that was. Welcome to the winner's circle. your Fortnite World Champion, Booga!
Booga! Damn, bro. That was a good game, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, this cup is yours. One more time, your world champion, Booga!
That's pretty awesome. I know you can.
My man.
Oh wait, alright.
I won't lie, I have a tear in my eye for you, bro.
Wait, where did I put this? Where did I put this?
Congratulations.
Oh, there you go.
I'm just gonna ask the most generic question in the world.
Yeah, man.
How do you feel right now?
Yeah.
Words can't even explain it right now. I'm
I
just
can't
so
do
happy.
it. Can't do it.
Everything I've
No,
done,
with
the
this
grind, it's all paid off, and it's just insane.
So the last game I noticed you changed it up a little bit. You decided to change your drop spot. At what point in that game did you know that you locked it up?
Well, pretty much. I got to center zone after getting like a llama, so it was pretty much just sealed from there. I don't know. Yeah.
Now, I know that you have some family here today. They're right there. Who you
Where are
playing
you?
for here, bud?
Over there?
My whole family, man. Sentinels.
And finally, you know what? I don't even think we need to say anything else.
on, you guys.
Give it up one more time. Your champion of the world, Booga!
Wish my parents were proud of my gaming. No, hopefully they are.
Let's get the whole team out here. Let's get everybody. I want everyone in this stadium one more time. Put your hands together for this young man. He just made history. History. $3 million in prizes. The greatest Fortnite player in the world, hands down. There is not even a question.
No, you're the host of Johnny again.
And for all of us here in Arthur Ashe Stadium, we want to thank you all so much for joining us on this incredible journey. This has been the Fortnite World Cup Finals. This has been not only our event, not only his event, but your event as well. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you on the Battle Bus.
Next year. Boom. Thank you guys for watching.
This is what it's all about. The Fortnite World Cup Finals ends right here.
Ends right here, man.
Of their entire lives. 100 players. The battle bus is loaded.
Thank you guys for watching. I gotta go now. Bump up. But thank you guys so much for watching. Anyone who's be watching this later on, people who have been tuning in to my channel, thank you so much. Like, comment, subscribe. Spread the word. Your name's on, man. We will fight on Fortnite. Yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in. People who will be watching this later on, tuning into this, yeah, thank you so much. Like, comment, subscribe. Like my content, Spread the word. We will fight on.